before video was last weekend. I've now spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this weekend. And it's good enough. It's all done. I used my leftover straw, put it all around the plants, so hopefully I don't get as many weeds. Got all of my veggies cleaned up. Got the little fence around it, keep the rabbits out. Got the bushes trimmed. I transplanted all the cosmos from around the vegetables. There's now a bunch of cosmos in front of the house there. And I put the rest all around the edges of this kidney shaped garden, I guess you could call it. Trimmed the trees, trimmed the bushes, weeded all the gardens. Looks much more respectable now. Put a few sunflowers in the center of this garden. You can't see them yet, they're just little, but that one grew on its own. It's looking good. Trimmed all the edges of this big bush. There's a family of rabbits that live under there. That's all trimmed back. Trimmed back all these bushes and the rose bush. I ran out of straw, so I couldn't put any around these potatoes. Looks much better, everything trimmed. And cleaned up the vegetable garden. Weeded around all the corn, and all the individual spots are pumpkin plants. They're all doing good now. The weeds were just choking them out. They were barely growing, and yet look at the big leaves on the one. That's only from a few days of being cleaned up and put some straw around them. Weeded under that trellis. I had a bunch of peas and snap peas already growing. I rooted them up, so they're climbing up the trellis. I had to lean something else up there because the plants are pretty far back, but they should start climbing it now. I forgot to weed around these potatoes, but they'll be fine. Got everything mowed. I saved this little apple tree. This is one of the apple trees we grew from seed from an apple at the grocery store, and the rabbits have eaten it 3 times down to nothing. So I finally have it protected, and they can't mess with it. There we go. That looks better. Still have to trim around all the bottoms of the trees, all these branches that are hanging down collecting grass. Need to trim all of those, clean it all up, and mow underneath them. As you can see, lots of weeds around the bases. But oh, already some walnuts. I also cleaned up this entire area. Had a whole bunch of old punky wood from splitting wood in a few spots. Had a bunch of firewood stacked there, other pieces. So I got them all stacked between the trees. Dragged the other ones over there. And then dragged this whole area took it over and dumped it in a low spot with the loader, flattened it, and then today I drug the harrows around. You can see I have to go around and I have a million little pieces of wood to pick up. Now the plan is later this year, get that wood shed moved over underneath those trees. That's going to be the final spot for the wood shed. And then I have all that firewood over there I got to cut and split for winter. And then when all that's gone, I'm going to flatten all of this, landscape it all nicely, and plant grass. And then when you look out the back window of the house, you'll just see nice clean forest all the way back to the campfire. Still got a shit ton of work to do, but it's looking good. Not bad for one guy.